Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Fantasy League of Ordinary Gentlemen. It is a big day for the United States. It is Election Day, where we will choose as a people, exercise your most important civil liberty, and choose who is going to lead us for the next 4 years. Please make an informed decision. Get out there and make a decision based off of who you think is the best candidate. My endorsement will be for the former President Donald Trump, as one can tell, but we're not here to talk politics. We are here to talk about a huge week 9 here in the Fantasy League of Ordinary Gents, and we are getting towards the end of our mid-season grind here. Lots of positioning, lots of teams on the line here, and playoff certainty for one team. Brennan has already punched his ticket for the 2024 playoffs, but we have other owners who could actually be out of it. So let's see how things have done. Real quick, take a moment, like and subscribe, get us out there. We hope you're having a good time. We enjoy having you week in, week out, week in, week out. My goodness. And of course, if you're just joining us here, it's, middle of the season, getting towards the playoff push. Not quite. We're still in the midseason grind. And if anything going on here helps you make a decision in your league, well, more power to you. But it is time. Push out all the distractions. Get something to snack on. Get something to drink. Turn up the sound on your listening device and let the sultry sounds of Joe Johnson, your commissioner, fill the airwaves. And let's break down this week 9. It's game 1 featuring Josh Johnson and Jack Little Raven. And Jack, we told you, man, this was a week that you were very potentially looking at being eliminated from the playoffs. You needed a win, and a win you got, much to Josh Johnson's chagrin. Josh, we talked about it. You could take a loss. That ends up happening. It was going to be a rough week, and you're sitting on the danger zone. You're not eliminated. You are now in the same position. So Jack, you're still there. We talked about it. It is a win until you hit a playoff position or not. Josh, you're now in that position, but take a page out of Jack Little Raven's book, and I'm not going to spoil it. You need to take a page out of a couple other people's book and do what you need to do to just change this track, and you can be right back in it. Let's go ahead, break it down. J.K. Dobbins was your second highest scoring player here, 24 points. Believe it or not, Demarcus Robinson, who I refused to pick up in another league because I was like, there's just no way. But Puka ends up getting injured, and thank God you started him. I mean, you're just going after everything in the Rams. It could have been a lot worse. And unfortunately, the bug bites you again. And Demarcus Robinson does get those 27 points, but Deontay Johnson zeroes out. The trade is not working. Unfortunately, your fears when you voiced your frustration at the early, when this trade early on happened, I thought it was going to be for the best. It's almost like this crazy dynamic that this top tier wide receiver gets traded to a team, and it's the wide receiver that everybody's been waiting on. Garrett Wilson, now Zay Flowers. I mean, the list goes on. So unfortunate that this is just not petered out in the way you've hoped it to here. And I want to personally apologize. I thought Big Montana Will Dissly was a great pickup, but Quentin Johnson ended up playing, and that really stifled Dissly here. And so that's my fault, Josh. I apologize. Jack, for you, it's a huge win. Life. And forgive me for not being as animated. It's early Tuesday. Have a very busy day. I'm not even going to be home. I'm going to be gone all day. So recording this very early, not trying to yell too loud, but life, my friend. in the form of a win here in Week 9. Kirk Cousins, great day, 3 touchdowns, 222 yards. I think he continues to have a good. It's been a good 2 weeks, and I think next week we'll talk about it. But I think you can use him right now. Travis Etienne and Raheem Mostert. Nothing. That trade for Jamar Chase just not petering out here with Raheem Mostert. Travis Etienne struggling there against Philadelphia. I thought he was going to get in the end zone. I thought Tank Bigsby was going to get into the end zone. But Jacksonville struggled all around here. It was a fantasy nightmare in that game for Jacksonville players, man. Again, Philadelphia has a super high red zone conversion rate for running backs, and I thought one of these guys would get in. It just didn't happen. Cortland Sutton is coming on now. The Broncos are finding themselves, and yes, we just got trounced in that game, but if this is what you've wanted to see, and I think this is going to continue to get better, so I think you can start Cortland Sutton with confidence, and Zay Flowers having a huge game, 5 receptions, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, Chandler, do you want your player back? Not what I expected again with Deontay Johnson, but talk about a trade now. I mean, maybe it does work in your favor when you just look at the fact that between the both of them, that's over 30 points. Now, if Raheem Mostert can get you 10, and if Travis Etienne can get his act together, then the Zay Flowers is at least putting up double digits, and I'm talking what you drafted him for, 15, 18. Okay, maybe you edge out a little something here. Evan Ingram, we talked about it. We knew it was going to be a good day. I'll take the 11 points. Guess what? We're back to it. Better than Mark Andrews. Am I right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. DJ Moore. Yeah, no, don't want anything in the passing game when it comes to Chicago, Seattle, the defense, and McPherson, the kicker. It's 119 points. Boom, you hit that 110, baby. And more importantly, it's a win after just a devastating, what was it? When we talked about like 5 losses in a row. And so now you're sitting at 2-7. It's what you needed to. Josh, 2-7. Both you guys, doesn't matter, must continue to find a win in Week 10. Game 2 was a high-scoring affair, and let me just start this off. Josh, I don't know what it is. What are they putting in the water in Wisconsin? Because last year it was Luke Gilbertson, who is on a hiatus. We certainly hope to have him back if he's out there watching. Word on the streets is he does catch an episode every now and then. So Luke, we miss you. If you're catching this episode, come back. Come back, baby. And I just want to point out, Luke, if you're watching, and then Aaron, if you're watching, this is what happens when, it is outrageous how bad you are getting outscored every week. It just, can you get a break? You're producing the points. Joe Mixon's come back on. Tony Pollard, I'm starting off on the wrong side. But who cares? Let's just do it. Jalen Hurts, 29 points. I mean, dude, you got 4 touchdowns, which most teams get as a total. You've got 580 yards just in between your quarterback and your 2 running backs. It's a great day. Pittman has a bad day. It was not good. It was a bad day for Indianapolis. They're going to bounce back. It's going to happen. Okay. Jaden Reed, 16 points. Hawkinson, hey, you know what? 5.7 points. Better than Mark Andrews. Okay. Kyron Williams, okay, it wasn't a great day. There are people in this league who would kill for a running back that scores 10 points. Forrest is one of them. Starting Tank Bigsby scoring 2 points over there. And the Minnesota defense has a day. Screws me. Matt Gay, 9 points. I mean, it's 120 points. You love the production. How many? I mean, you have got to be tired of hearing me say Love the production, hate the outcome at this point in time. It's just frustrating as hell. Forrest, I'm not trying to take anything away from you. My God, last minute change, dropping Worthy to the bench, starting Cade Otton, doing something that I hate. You started the 2 tight ends, taking a page from Derek Ash and Jack Little Raven, and it gets you. It's a win. This is why you win this game. You don't do that, you lose this game. Huge, huge pulls you away. You would be 2-7 with Josh and Jack. And how huge? How when we talk about the standings, how many owners are at 4-5? And now 3-6, and everybody's tied for that 6. Everybody's right looking at the end. I'm telling you, it's like a third of the entire league is playoff potential. That there's only one, and that's the fact. And we'll talk about the ramifications of other games, but only one person is sitting up top happy, and that's Brennan. The rest of us are down here, fighting amongst the streets, okay, for the scraps, okay. So way to fight, and on a day where Jameis Winston doesn't have a good day, but the stack, you haven't had a stack for us because you fucked up so bad in drafting, but the stack comes in, it's 30 points between 2 players. It's what you needed, okay. You needed Tillman to get the day. It kind of reverses itself if Tillman doesn't catch this late touchdown. We're talking about a different day, but there's so many things that just had to happen for you to win this game. Aaron Jones has a horrible day. Tank Bigsby has a horrible day. I mean, your running back core got blown away by Aaron. But then it's it is the wide receiving core for this is what happens. And I hate to say it because now I'm running 3 running backs in a PPR league. I want to flex in deep league PPR leagues. I want to flex a wide receiver, not a running back. And this is why Joe Mixon is fantastic. Kyron Williams, fantastic. And Tony Pollard just needs the 10. And that's a dangerous running back core. And here you see when they pop off for well over 40, 50 points. And it's still a loss here, and it all comes down to receiving. Travis Kelce, 22 points, 14 for 100, and then Cade Otton, 877 and a touchdown. Indianapolis's defense, that helps. I mean, any way you want to pick here at the bottom half of the team, whatever gets you 9 points. Seibert, 9 points, boom, there's your win. My goodness. Congratulations, Forrest. Life. I mean, we talk about you having life 3-6. Now, Aaron, everything I say about Forrest, I mean, really applies to you too. And you're 10 times more dangerous than Forrest team. Let me just say that. You have been outscored. It is gross. It's me. I just want to say there's somebody in every league. In my other league that I'm in with a friend that I've known since we were in kindergarten together, I am the third or fourth in points scored. I am third in points against, and it is gross, man. And I feel it, and there has to be one every year, and unfortunately it's you. And I just want to say, brother, if you just got to keep fighting the good fight, keep putting up 120 points, and statistically speaking, you've got to win. I mean, and again, you're 2 games from a 6th seed. So keep scoring 120 points. Get 2 wins in the next, 5 games, and you'll get there, baby. You'll get there. Forrest, excellent. Keep it going in week 10. I tell you what, week 3 had all of the high scoring matches. Everybody's going off except me. Of course, just another gutter trash week for myself. But we're not talking about me. We're talking game 3 featuring co-commissioner Aaron Grogg taking on Brock Hudgens. And if there is anybody who has life, it is alive. I didn't even think for a fact. I hope everyone had a good Halloween. Should have thrown that into the intro. But if there's anything left over from Halloween, it is the pieced together mass that is The Dolphins, it literally is the recreated Dolphins 2.0. Brock Hudgens, who loses 6 games in a row, was at the bottom of the table 3 weeks ago. No hope. Everyone had given him up for dead, and with a 4-point win over, when you score, Aaron was me against Austin. You score 130 points, you should win. 120 points if you're Aaron, but 130, 140, sure. And here comes Brock Hudgens. It is alive, Brock. I cannot believe it. 3 wins in a row. And guess who's not at the bottom of the table anymore? And guess who's 2 wins away from a 6 seed? What did I tell you? We've seen it 1,000 times. We're seeing it here in the Fantasy League of Ordinary Gentlemen. You don't give up. You keep fighting. And Brock Hudgens is right back in it, boys. I am so impressed, and much to Aaron Krog's chagrin, and you know what? I just love to see it. Aaron hurting, unfortunately, the trade, unable to play T. Higgins, crazy. I don't know how you're able to trade away T. Higgins. I mean, it's like you're pulling a Chandler, trading away all your injuries all of a sudden. And I'm really not trying to dig at you too much, Aaron. It sucks, man. 133 points. Let's break it down. Joe Burrow, 29 points. Not a great day from White, but he falls into the end zone, 12 points. Alvin Kamara, who's now going to feast. I mean, oh man, you know what? If you thought we were going to get a rant after a win, from, beating, Austin, okay, let me tell you, I am livid that again Chris Olave gets injured, but it's all going to go to Alvin Kamara, and you're sure going to enjoy starting him next week. We'll talk about that in the next week's episode, or tomorrow's episode. Garrett Wilson, 30 points. What do we say? Devonta Adams shows up, and Garrett Wilson, that we've been waiting for, is going off now. 2 touchdowns, 9 for 90. Holy moly. Jerry Jeudy, we said, Jerry Jeudy, yeah, it's a nice little flex play. In our league, can be definitely played as a wide receiver too. Great play. Sam Laporta crashing down to earth. Still, doesn't matter. You scored at this point in time, right? You've scored enough. Tucker Kraft, you did. This is now. I get to say it, all y'all sons of bitches. Starting 2 tight ends just to get my Agent Orange jacked up, okay? And when my Agent Orange gets jacked up, I get the mute to kill. I mean, come on. This is what happens, and, I get it. It's a rough time with the injuries, but, 2 tight ends, it doesn't work out. Not going to get, 20 points from Kraft in this game. Houston's defense, 5. Young Hoku, the kicker, 3. Like I said, Aaron's, Felch, and Grog, you like the production. You hate the outcome. Better luck next week. And Brock, Sam Darnold, what a day. Would have had more points had he not thrown the 2 interceptions. But it really, it comes down to Devon Achane, 32 points. He's your highest scoring player. 2 touchdowns, 63 on the ground alone. Rico Dowdle, just fine. If they would just use him, and I don't know, maybe, Dak gets hurt in this game. Now I have no backup quarterback. We'll get there. I'm just ready to go. If you can tell, I'm ready to be angry. Yeah. This is rough. We talk about everybody's game. Just want to talk about me, sometimes, guys. Oh, Tyreek Hill, still not really back to where we want, but, hey, we'll get there. The point is you win, okay? Josh Palmer here, 263 and a touchdown. Thank God one of them goes. If he doesn't, you lose this game. Here we go. I try and just analyze, and then the football, brings me right back in, and everybody can get a rushing touchdown in Arizona, except the running back who starts for the team, and so Trey McBride even gets a rushing touchdown. Are you kidding me? Here, so really saves his day. Keenan Allen again. We're you guys have got to stop. I get it. We're searching for life, and there's not a lot going on, but we cannot start these wide receivers from Chicago. Philadelphia's defense, great day, 12 points, and Bates, the kicker, 6, 137. It's a win. Brock, make it 4 in week 10, brother. Game 4, which means it's my turn to rant. Yeah. Okay. So we can score 143 points last week to narrowly defeat Austin Allen. Okay. Yeah. But then this week, we're going to come out and we're going to lay a goose egg, just absolute crap, against Forever Unclean. So the injuries continue. They target mainly my team. I'm not the only one. Like I said, we started off with Josh, Puka Nacua, but it just won't stop. It won't stop. Chris Olave, another concussion. Probably going to miss at least another week because that's what happens. So, yeah, fun there. Dak Prescott, now I have no backup quarterback. This is just Sterling Shepard. I didn't even think about Sterling Shepard on your team there. Banged up. I mean, just the nonsense. And, I know that I'm not the only one who scores low this week. I have one of the lowest scores this week. It just feels like a roller coaster. It's like I said in the chat. Can any of us, other than Austin and Jonathan and Brennan, and maybe it's just that they've avoided less injury than the rest of us in some manner, because I know that all of us have dealt with some injury, and there is a lot to be said when fantasy, you are the least injured of teams. But good God, man, would it stop? Here we go. Easy, on a day that Trace Brown has 120 yards and a touchdown, 26, he is the only player that scores into the 20s. James Conner, 14. I mean, I'm starting off the day great. It was, I get no touchdowns, but over 100 yards. We're at 14 points. People are praying for 14 points from the RB2. I'm taking it. It's fine. And then nothing. I get that they completely controlled the game. I'm hoping it was just game script that kept Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray from having a good game here. Chris Olave, we talked about it, goes down in the middle of the first quarter. Mark Andrews stifled for targets again. James Taylor, I get it, Houston, bad day. You talk about 14th in the power rankings for week 9. There it is. Not to take anything away from you, Forever Unclean, you stinky piece of shit. 20, there it is. That's what you've been waiting for. And I still can't believe you didn't play Baker. But 24, 291, 3 touchdowns. That is, and against Denver, Tampa Bay. That's next week. Sorry. I see. I'm already thinking about it. But against Tampa Bay in the Monday night game, which was I had nothing. It was so little. Didn't matter what happened with the defense. The kicker wasn't happening. Oh, and that isn't that lovely. I kind of put that out of my mind because there's so much going on today. But now that I mention it, shouldn't have even taken Olave off of IR. Should have just left him. Should have played Brian Thomas, which was what the plan was going to be. Okay. And, but no, because Olave, I need the win. I drop Chris Boswell, and I know that tonight, one of you sons of bitches is going to get him. And I'm not even saying out loud, because I'm not afraid to know, well, this won't come out until, I guess it'll be Wednesday or whatever, but it won't matter. It's just, I know that there was that after the win, the comeback win with Boswell, everybody saw it, and just there's no need to drop him, and I dropped him because I had to make room. He's a kicker. Oh man, yeah, I'm mad. Anyway, where were we? I don't even remember where we were. Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, Josh Jacobs, 12 points. Charbonnet, 5. I mean, dude, my running back core destroys your running back core. And then, I mean, this is, and really, you have a shitty day. It wasn't much better than me. Justin Jefferson goes off 7 for 137. And then you're right back to Christian Watson, nothing, 8. And Njoku comes back down to earth, 7. Sterling Shepard gets injured, but he gets you 10. The Jets defense, 13. Tucker, 11. I mean, these little things, you hit the 110 mark. He's going to get you a win because 73, 76 ain't going to get it done. Oh my God, it's super important. How different, if you were sitting at 3-6 right now, look at the company you'd be keeping. Forever Unclean says no. 4-5. It knocks me down. I'm the lone 5-4. I'm holding on to that 5th seed right now. Huge win, Evan. Huge win. Carry that in to your next week, sir. It's got to get. Oh man, got to get better. And this was one. Let me just say this is a win you think you get. Classic example. You think you're going to get this win because maybe next week, and the end of my schedule is rough, and I have to replay Jonathan, who's on a tear, and needed a win here against Forever Unclean. Didn't get it. Makes my week 10 into the midseason grind that much harder. Game 5 has Chandler, Taylor, and Derek Ash. And what did I tell you, Chandler? You got cocky, and Mr. Consistency shows you how it's done. And, man, what did you think? You're a sophomore here, okay? Derek's been kicking ass and taking names for years now, and he's kind of having a rough week. But you know what? I knew he'd figure out his quarterback situation, and RB2 is lacking. But when Derrick Henry scores what he does, it really doesn't matter. So let's go ahead. Let's break this game down. It's 101 to 121. Another, I'd say, as long as you're scoring over 100 points, we're calling it a high-scoring game. It's a deep league. And, you do notice, okay, every year, I'm telling you, 14, 16 man league, that number, it's 110, at least with our scoring format, which is just standard PPR. That's what you're looking at, and look who surpasses that number, look who doesn't. Bo Nix, great play against a tough defense, 17 points. Number 8 quarterback in the league right now. And we're really finding ourselves. I mean, I'm not even angry after that kind of a loss. Baltimore's fantastic, but I'm a little disappointed. Our defense allowed 41 points. I thought it'd be a much closer game, but the fact that our offense really does seem to be figuring itself out. Bijan and DeAndre Swift, it was a great day for both these guys. 21 and 14. The running back core absolutely annihilating here. Scary Terry 2, not a great day, but finds the end zone with both of his only 2 receptions, which will make for a happy fantasy manager no matter who you are. So take your 15 points and be happy. Jamar Chase coming back down to earth a little bit here, 7 for 43. But you see what happens when he plays without T. Higgins. There is such a difference here. Zach Ertz, hey, you know what? In my other league, I picked up Zach Ertz because someone dropped him. Didn't even have to worry about trading him like you did. And guess what? He boned me in the A2. Yeah, absolutely horrible. Monty, 73 yards, 12, still 12. There are people begging for 12. Take it. Atlanta's defense, 3 here, and Will Lutz, the kicker, it's 4. 101. It's not a great day. Don't really like the outcome, but at least it's 100 points for the scoring here, which you like to have. You need at least 100 points because that can help with tiebreakers. So, nice there. Unfortunately, does put you at 4-5, which is hey, you know what? Tied up for that 6th seed. And Derek, huge. Had you lost this one, and then me losing, I would still be above you, but you're able to hold on to that number 4 seed for now. but 6-3, big win, and just what you needed. Like we said, quarterback woes have just been you this year, and Justin Herbert finally looking good, figuring things out. Much, interesting that the NFC or AFC West is figuring itself out offensively. I would even apply that to the Chiefs. Kareem Hunt, D Hop, Patrick Mahomes, scary stuff, man. So, Herbert here, 282, 2 touchdowns, 19 points. It's what you've been lacking. Derrick Henry, we talked about it, RB2. You're just hoping that Bucky Irving falls into the end zone, but between him and Henry, that's over 30 points. So, hey, okay, every little bit counts. We already saw one match this week alone decided by less than 5 points. Amon St. Brown, Malik Neighbors destroying 9 for 59 for Neighbors, 756 and a touchdown for St. Brown. Turd Ferguson, it's a funny hat, great day. Even, with that going out, 7 for 71, it's double digits. Kyle Pitts, man, I swear to Christ, you guys have to change that's what you do. You change your lineups after, and I know we talked about you starting 2 tight ends, and you of course win. But I'm just saying sometimes, and I'm going back to Forrest here. You change your lineups after I do the podcast or whatever, so that I don't bitch at you on camera in front of people. And the fact that 2 of you start your tight ends and you get wins, and the one you don't even deserve to win this game in the sense that your 2 tight end starts as bad as Aaron's. It's not good. You just did enough everywhere else, and then of course the Chargers. I mean, there's your difference. Ooh, I didn't even. Yeah, great start with the Chargers defense. 19 points. There's your difference. 16-point sway on defense alone. Myers 1 point. It meant nothing. 121 to 101. Derek, huge win. I'm not wishing you luck. You know why in week 10. And then Chandler, got to get a bounce back win if you want to stay in the hunt for that number 6 seed there in week 10. Game 6 was a blowout, not even close. I'm just somewhat glad that I'm not the only one scoring low, but hey, you know what, Jordan? Still scoring more than your commissioner. 99 to 133. Good Lord. And not a lot to talk about here, Mr. Jordan. 22 points. Josh Allen, great day. Could have been a little better. Wouldn't have made a lot of difference here. Running back core, nothing. What did we talk about with Chubb? And Tyrone Tracy, bad day. Washington stifled New York. It just wasn't happening on the ground. Amon St. Brown. A.J. Brown, knee injury, goes out of this game, doesn't help you. Jacoby Myers, great day, 8 for 105, 18 points there. Dalton Kincaid, hey, you know what, 72 points more is more than Mark Andrews, so I'll take that. Cooper Kupp with no Puka, huge day, 11 for 104, 21 points here. New Orleans defense 5, and Butker, the kicker, 7. Unfortunately, 99 points, usually not going to get you a win. And now the fact that I do realize that I'm the lowest scoring person here in week 9 has slowly started to crawl into the back of my mind. What is at the forefront of my mind is that Brennan, dangerous Scala, pulls off another huge win, and I mean, on 9-0. And whenever your bye weeks hit, like whoever that owner is has got to be thanking their lucky stars. And it may be a one. I mean, at this point in time, I mean, we've got 5 weeks to go, and I don't know your exact schedule, Brennan, but surely there's one in those 5 who can bring down the mountain here. Like we said, Lamar Jackson, 283 touchdowns, 23 points, beats Josh Allen by a point. Your running back core shows up. James Cook, 11, and Ramondre Stevens, 22 points. Sure does make up for that previous showing. CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, and Drake, both these guys get injured. Talk about, again, more people getting injured, but both of them hit double digits before doing so. Taysom Hill, who I knew if I just needed to hold on to him. I just needed to hold on to him. Drafted him. And then stuff happens. And here we are. And now, no Chris Olave, no Rashid Shaheed. It's the Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara show. Unreal. How one man's trash is another man's treasure. Is that not so true? Look at Forrest's team. Look at Forrest's entire team. One man's trash, another man's treasure. Unreal. Josh Downs, what did we say? Start Josh Downs, win your week. Done. Brennan's like, done. Cincinnati's defense, 12. Brendan Aubrey, 9. Cannot go wrong. 9 undefeated weeks. Congratulations. Brennan looking to keep it going in week 10. And then Jordan, dealing with the injury bug. It's a rough year. I will say you're still at 4-5. You're right there, man. And I know if there's anybody who will be playing the waivers, it will be you. And, just looking to find that bounce back W next week, sir. Game of the week was exactly that. The scoreline is a little misleading to how close this game actually was. Jonathan Andrews, however, will hold off Austin Allen to hand Austin his second loss in a row. And more importantly, this win, we talk about how important right now these playoff push. This win now puts Jonathan at 7-2 and gives him the tiebreaker to go ahead and steal the potential number 2 seed in that bye, that so important bye week in the first round of the playoffs now belongs to Jonathan Andrews and not Austin Allen. We still have plenty of time, 5 weeks left to go. Any one of these guys could lose 5 weeks in a row. Not saying that's likely to happen any more than it is Jack and or Josh to win 5 in a row. But the possibility, the mathematical certainty that it could happen. Nothing, never say never, never say always. It's just improbable. But at least when we talk about where we're at in this situation, tiebreaker going Jonathan's way, 140, and it's another, both of the, 140 and 130. Brennan, Austin, and Jonathan, it's unreal. Forrest, this is you. You did this. Just want to say. Nevertheless, let's break down. Matthew Stafford would have had, looks like it right at 20 points had he not thrown the interception. So 2 points off there. Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker, not great days. Only 23 points between the two, 10 and 13 respectively. But where the separation happens is in Monday night. And the Monday night beat down, no miracle, just beat down as, real quick, Devonta Adams does get 791 in a touchdown there against Houston. But then Monday night, D-Hop and Kareem Hunt combined for well over 40 points in that game. D-Hop, 8 receptions, 86 and 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 106 and a touchdown. Now, this does go into overtime. I will say, there's a lot of these points that comes into overtime and changes the what would be a, not as high scoring fantasy day, or what would be ends up being a fantabulous fantasy scoring day. Kareem Hunt's numbers would have been significantly lower. I think he had only had like 10 points by the end of that game. So, that's huge here. Brock Bowers, another great play. 15.5 points, more than Mark Andrews any day. Tennessee's defense, what a great play. 14 points, and Elliott, the kicker, 4. It's 145. And Austin, 2 weeks in a row where you put up 130 plus points and much feeling the world that Aaron Felch is living in as your opponents are able to still outscore you. Jaden Daniels, 19 points again, unreal, continuing his reign as the number 1 quarterback. Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, 32 and 14. 46 points between 2 players. You more than make up the D Hop and Kareem Hunt numbers. I mean, you're holding in the game. No AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, great 18 points. Darnell Mooney, no London, 19 points. Just little things like being short 7 points. There's 7 of that 15 half in the tight end area, and then there's your other half, the 8 with Javonte Williams falling there with Kareem Hunt. Disappointing. You call it Washington's defense. Your kicker, it's just 15 points shy. Plenty of numbers. You like the production. You hate the outcome. And again, what you really hate is that you lose that tiebreaker to an opponent who's right there with you. And then the potential, if it were to end today, the loss of that second seed and that bye week in week 2. But Austin, you know as well as I do, we got plenty of football left. So both these owners looking to continue their high scoring into week 10. And let's go ahead and look at what I was talking about. I've been so ready to talk about these standings as we go into the last week of the midseason grind, and then we start our week 11 playoff push into said playoffs. So let us look at, and there it is. Even ESPN acknowledges that Brennan Scala has his ticket into mathematical certainty. It was already at 8. We know how fantasy league here works, but 9 wins absolutely will put you in the playoffs. So he is the first person to guarantee, no matter what happens, that he will be in the playoffs. Jonathan Andrews, we just talked about it, steals number 2 for now and gets that coveted bye week for the playoffs round 1. Sitting right behind him at 7-2, Austin Allen. Our lone 6-3, Derek Ash. The one thing that sucks about being the 4 seed is you're good enough to be an upper tier seed, but you get that dreaded 4-5 matchup. And look who it is. We're getting a potential a matchup in the playoffs here right now, here next week in week 10. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's episode. Hanging on, and this is what I've been ready to talk about. Ignore everything. It's casual sailing from, really seed 5 and above, okay? Let's look at the chaos that is seed 6. 4-5. Aaron Grog currently holds it, but he is tied with Chandler Taylor, Jordan Payne, Evan Coles. It's a 4-way tie. So I can almost guarantee you that we're going to have people who are 7-7 who are going to miss out on the playoffs. Then right behind them, tied for 10th, Forrest Dozier, Aaron Felch, and Brock Hudgens, 3-6. Guys, you're 1 win. So 4-5, you're all 1 win behind that 5th seed, so that's open. 2 to 3 wins behind what is number 2. It's really tight. The only person, and at this point in time, let's be honest, Brennan should just win. I mean, I want one of you to beat him so he doesn't become, we have never had anyone go undefeated. So somebody has to knock him off his rocker. However, let me say that if he continues to win, it really is better for the rest of the league because we got to fight it out down here. These are the people now who need to lose. With 5 games left to go, if you're 4-5 or 3-6, he's gone. Okay, the only people, if you're me or if you're seed 5 or better, that's where you need Brennan to lose. Okay, now for everybody else, no, you don't want that to be the case. 4-5, 3-6. Look, you're 1 game. You're there, okay? So can you put together, and then even look at our last 2, Jack Little Raven, Josh Johnson sitting at 2-7, 4-5. That's 2 wins. They lose 2 games, you win 2 games, boom, 6 seed. We got 5 games. Can you find 2 wins? Now let's kind of talk about the top. If you're me, if you're Derek, if you're Austin, if you're Jonathan, 2 wins. You're 2 wins from Gary. If you're 7-2, you need 1 win. 1 win in 5 weeks guarantees you a playoff position. Everybody else, Derek, myself, two wins. Can you get 2 wins to get yourself into that playoff position, at least guarantee you a mid to low level seed? If Brennan loses, then hey, everything, 2 losses, Brennan, it gets real interesting real quick. So we have plenty to play for. 5 weeks left to go. Get out and vote. It matters. And I'm not picking one side or another. If it doesn't matter to vote, why do why do people try and steal it so hard? So use your civil liberty exercise, your duty as an American. Go vote. Be an educated, responsible voter and pick the person you believe is going to be best for the country. Take a moment, like and subscribe if you didn't do it at the beginning of the video. I certainly do appreciate it. And stay tuned for tomorrow's episode as we break down all the action in Week 10. Take care. Get off my lawn.